Hi everyone! It's been a while since my last video, so I thought it was about time to do a new one. In this video I will share how I created my latest collection, An Ode to Nature. So I started out with just creating this greenish background. I wasn't really sure at the time what I was going to use it for. I just like the color, and I often create like that just as intuitively and then see where it goes. But then I started experimenting with this frottage technique, which is where you basically take some kind of texture and put it under a piece of paper and draw on top of it, and then you can see the texture coming through. And I used some of my own photos of different plants and flowers and trees and so on that I've taken both in Denmark and here in Florida. And just experimented a lot with the different photos, and some of them turned out to work better than others when it came to using this technique. It was a lot of trial and error to figure out both what type of plants that were good for this and what type of photos, but also what type of brushes I should use. So I was using Rebelle 7 Pro for this project, and some of the brushes, when I used them, the texture just didn't come through, so I had to try different ones to see which ones would work better. So I also tried out using the metallic paints that are in Rebelle 7 Pro, while they're pretty, I decided not to use them for this collection because I felt like they didn't really fit in. But I wanted to create this transition from a lighter color to a darker color. So I was experimenting with lighter blues to darker blues, and then greens and yellows and so on. And I ended up going with the yellowish to darker green to make this transition. And the hard part was the transition, to make that look smooth, but not too smooth. So these daisies were really tricky, by the way. And some of these flowers just, didn't lend themselves well to this technique, so I ended up not using them. But nature in itself has a lot of abstraction. I wanted to pull that out in this collection. I love everything that has to do with nature, trees, plants, flowers, and so on. And when you look at the different textures and shapes, you find they're just really interesting, and just to me they're abstract. You know what I mean? Like, you can take a picture of a tree trunk and see all these different patterns, or a leaf, for example, right? So I wanted to pull out these different textures and shapes in this collection and highlight them, so we can kind of look at these plants in a different way than we're used to. So at this point in the creation process, I have started to find the style that I want to end up with, and that meant that I actually had to go back and redo some of the previous pieces that I had done already, because I wanted them to be in the same color palette, and also the same style and brushes and so on, so that it would be in a cohesive collection. So yes, some of them were redone several times before I found one that I was satisfied with and that I wanted to include in the collection. And some of them were just kind of like, no, it doesn't work anyways, and I ended up not using some of these. I also had a lot of fun researching for the descriptions for these pieces, because I realized that some of these plants I either didn't know the name of, or I didn't really know where they were from or anything about them. So I also did a little research project to find out, more about them, and that was actually super interesting. And I found out many of these had medicinal properties or were used for different purposes in the past. It was just very, very interesting and fun to learn more about these different trees and plants and flowers and so on. The collection is minted on buildtree.io, and I put the link in the description box below if you'd like to check it out. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future videos.